in case anyone is actually watching this, so what I just finished doing was kind of tightening up these pencils. This is a super elaborate sketch cover that I'm working on. It's going to be intended to be a companion piece for a Dick Tracy one I did, where there's all these film cells, or like film. Cell's not the right term. Anyhow, it's like film strips or whatever, all across the piece. And in each one, you can see there's a different villain or whatever, and then outside of that, we have the Batmobile. We've got the Batwing and all this kind of stuff here. The logo and everything that's on the sketch cover actually is here, which is why this area is open. So now that these pencils are kind of tightened down and locked down a little bit better than they were before, I'll show you the rough pencils which are underneath, in case you're curious to see that. The rough pencils are underneath here, and I was using a light box to transfer it over. So these are the rough sketch kind of layout pencils that I did prior, planning the drawing out, trying to figure everything out that's happening with this particular piece. Anyhow, these are the rough pencils. And now that I'm done cleaning these up, taking this and then using this in order to transfer the drawing onto the sketch cover. Now, in order to do that, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take some jet black. I need to get a point back on this one. I'm going to take these jet black ebony pencils, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to put graphite on the back. It's kind of old school watercolor technique, but I'm going to put graphite on the back. And once I have the graphite on the back, I'm going to tape this down to the sketch cover. And once I tape it down the sketch cover, I'm going to redraw all over this with this super fancy pen. This is just a pen. It's a super fancy pen to basically draw over all the lines, and then therefore transferring the drawing to the sketch cover. So it's kind of like a carbon copy. A carbon copy, basically making a carbon copy, is essentially what is effectively happening here. It's basically what we're doing. We're basically making a carbon copy. If I can actually successfully do this. One of the biggest problems I have is these ebony pencils breaking. They're so fragile. But that will be the idea. The idea is to hopefully transfer this drawing to the sketch cover. And at that point, I'm probably going to be working on inking it. The idea is, and see, I don't need like a super good point for this. Like, that'll work. Because all I'm doing is just putting the graphite down. This will be the most boring. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this whole video is probably boring, but this will definitely be a boring part as you watch me scribble graphite down. But once we get that done, we'll have our carbon ready that we can in turn transfer over to the sketch cover. So I've got my light box back on. You kind of see my art here. I've got my ebony pencil. And so the goal is, I don't have to scribble everywhere. I just need to focus on, of course, I'm talking about. Here's another older one. Try to use this one. The idea is to just put the graphite down where I'm going to need the lines. So I don't have to do the whole thing. I just need to do enough of it that I'll be able to transfer it over. sometimes when you're doing this, it's better to be real picky about where you put the graphite down, and then other times it's better to just scribble it down. And then what'll happen is I'll probably tighten up and modify the drawing as I actually transfer it on, because I'll want to be more deliberate and specific with my line choices. Maybe a little bit more scribbly and kind of searching in the early stages of doing this kind of stuff. At least that's been my experience. And then you need to be more specific and particular when you get to different sort of stages or whatever. I doubt anyone is watching on LinkedIn, but if you are, this is my first time also broadcasting on LinkedIn. I used to do a live YouTube show once or twice a week for many years. My life went through some changes. Then I didn't do it for a little while. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. We're promoting the webcomic Red Skirts, which is on BackerKit as a part of Comictopia. Al Sparrow, my friend and writer, we've created this book many, many moons ago, and we have been refining it and getting it where it needs to be, and we had this opportunity to launch the project as part of Comictopia, so it's what we're doing. So I hope that you will click the link and maybe take a look at Red Skirts and think about maybe supporting our indie comic endeavor. I tell you, maybe I'm wrong, but I really feel like the art supplies used to be better quality. Seems like ink isn't as dark as it used to be. Seems like the tools are more brittle. Like, you name it, it's a real problem. I don't think anything really works like it used to. Sorry, this is the boring part because I'm trying to get a couple pencils with a decent amount of point. The problem is they keep breaking off. I can't do that. That's going to be too difficult. My God, what is wrong with this damn pencil? I forget that. I've got a little bit of a point again going on this one. But, not as young as I used to be, and it hurts to hold on to these things when they get down to a certain size. It's Saturday. I imagine most people are out doing fun things. I pretty much work most of the time. If for some reason you are watching and you would like to participate, feel free to post a comment or a question from wherever you are. I'd be happy to put it up on the screen. I'd be happy to answer your question if I can. If I can't, I'll be happy to point you to a book or a resource that may be of benefit to you. In terms of art creation or process or anything. All right. Theoretically, we're now ready to tape this down. You can see I've got my makeshift graphite carbon copy there ready. So the next step is going to be to take our sketch cover that we have here. This is the sketch cover that we're using. So this is I don't remember when these came out. I know they're fairly new. But yeah, this is what we're going to be putting it onto. So now that we have this, our goal is going to be to put it at least kind of line it up, and then put it down onto the carbon we have. So this is our carbon here we just made. We're going to turn the light box on so it can kind of help us to see kind of where the edges of the boundaries are of the drawings on the other side. We're going to take some drafting tape here. We're going to use this drafting tape to tape the cover down to this. The lineup was going to be a little haphazard just because no matter how many times I try to do this, it's always kind of slightly off. All right, so once you kind of get it in place, I want to, I probably should have tore some pieces before I started doing this. I'm going to tape it down. I tend to try to go one. I think I don't know. Some people might be able to go more than one side at a time. Some people might also even take the cover off of the book, maybe even like take the center staples out and then take the cover off and do whatever, and then basically reassemble it. And the reality of it is no matter how hard I try it, it's always kind of slightly off. But you know, the sketch cover itself, when we're done with it, is the final piece. Everything that leads up to that is just kind of like the planning and the preparation side of, in my mind anyway, these kind of projects. So the goal is hopefully it looks good, you know, but it's always going to be its own thing. It's always going to be slightly different. And I guess you could control it a little bit more if you really want it, but I think it should be allowed to be a little different from whatever the planning stage is again. All right, so at this stage, theoretically, I'm going to put a piece of paper down between the book and the light box to try and keep the interior pages of the book clean. All right. This time we'll turn the light box off. I'm going to turn the secondary light on to help me see. So now is the stage where I'm going to take this basic pen, it was a freebie pen, and I'm just going to draw over and then transfer it down. Now, you know, you could start from this side and go to this side, or start this side, go to this side. I will probably bounce around a bit just because that's what I tend to do a little bit. And then you want to be a little careful when you do this stage, just so that, because you have to remember that while you've attempted to tape it down, it is slightly possibly off center, so you don't want to puncture the paper unnecessarily. And then ideally, you don't want to deviate too much for your drawing, but I always tend to end up doing way more of that than I mean to. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, and I can answer your questions. I'll be happy to. And you can see here, you can see where it is actually transferring the drawing down. And that's our goal. And when I get to the inking stage where I'm actually inking on the actual cover itself, I'll try to be a little bit more specific. And then I'll probably let this live stream run for about an hour or so. I don't think there's much point in seeing. I don't know, maybe I'll decide around my work. Let's see. I don't know. Now, that is right where the fold is. It's always kind of a tricky spot since I've been doing these more elaborate sketch covers. I've noticed where the fold is. It's kind of tricky. this is the toughest part right here. Is this where this score mark for where the book folds. I've done a bit of a mess, but again, we're transferring it down. I mean, it's more important that we get as many of our main construction lines down as we can. We can always adjust it once we actually start physically working on the actual book itself. I'm probably not going to bother with where this is supposed to be kind of the moon here with the batwing flying in front of the moon. I'm probably going to leave this moon out for now just because I'll put that down with ink once I see where everything really is right now on the cover. Because the reality of it is, even though I planned this out, everything's shifted now. And as I transfer it down, it's going to shift more. So it won't go exactly, it goes roughly where I want it to be. But I won't know until I actually peel this thing off exactly what I'm looking at. So I'm going to leave this out because I might want to move it over. I might move it to the right or the left. I don't know. So I'm going to leave it. And then I'll come back and worry about that when I'm actually doing the actual ink on the actual cover. Because again, this is not final ink. This is literally just transferring the drawing to the board. Again, for those people who might be interested, we are doing a crowdfunding campaign for Red Skirts. Red Skirts is a book that Al Sparrow and I have created. We need your help to get those books printed. We're part of the Comictopia on BackerKit. The link is in the description if you would like to check it out. We greatly appreciate that. We appreciate your support. Without your support, the books won't get printed. It's that simple. Red Skirts Volume 1 is fully done and complete already. The only thing that's we're doing is we're looking at ways that we might add or plus the book. So depending upon how the campaign goes, the idea at the moment is if the campaign does well, we will probably add material to the book. We have some ideas for what we want to do, but we want to wait until after we hit our funding goal. I want to thank everyone who's pledged and supported the campaign so far. Greatly, greatly appreciate your support. So if those people that are watching who are Batman animated fans, you probably know who all these people are. But as I transfer them down, I will call them out. This is obviously the Phantasm right here. This is the Gray Ghost. And I'm going to do Batgirl next. You guys were just watching me do the Batwing right here, which is actually right where the fold of the book is. So that's going to be tricky. So still have that look decent. But this is Batgirl up here in this corner. They're all based more off how they looked in the earlier seasons as opposed to the later seasons. Mostly they're kind of more season 1 versions of the characters. Those are the versions that I felt like were closest to the classic comic looks. So I decided to go with early season version of the characters. Now again, that fold is right here. So Batgirl is in a precarious spot for the production when I actually get to inking and doing final artwork. It'll be tricky to have her still look good, because that bend and that fold will cause problems. They're actually already causing problems. See right there. There's one right there. That line was not supposed to do that. So I'll have to find a way to kind of work around that. So there's Batgirl. So again, we've got Phantasm, Grey Ghost, Batgirl. This is Ra's al Ghul. The race next, we got Alfred, Riddler, and Scarecrow. And one of the things that will happen is, even though I'm trying very hard to transfer the drawing as is down, there will be parts where the graphite won't come across, and then I'll have to either just redraw it, or as I ink it, change it in order to fix it. Because every iteration welcomes problems. And this pen is putting down a much thicker line than with my lead holder and pointer we're doing, but it's fine because I need to make sure it transfers kind of more than anything. So it's kind of okay if it's a little different. It's more important the lines go down and I can see them when I transfer it than pretty much anything else. I could try and stream this to YouTube, but as usual, I had problems with YouTube. I always had problems with YouTube, so I gave up. For those of you who have been able to successfully get something going on YouTube, I envy you, because I swear, no matter what I do, I always have problems with YouTube. So if I decide to live stream more stuff, hopefully I'll be able to get it fixed. So I've got Ra's done. Now I'm moving to Alfred here. The idea is that this is a feather duster. Hopefully it'll come across better when I actually see the actual final. Look, it's a little whatever looking, but hope it'll look better in the final. And once we get most of this side down, I probably will lift up the paper here so we can see how well we're doing with transferring this drawing onto the sketch cover. So let's just take a look here just real quick, actually, just out of curiosity. You can see how the drawing is transferring over. So, and you can see where it's kind of decent, little spotty, little skippy kind of here and there, but it'll work okay for what we need. And then the next stage will be to ink and then clean this up. So got the Riddler and we got the Scarecrow. I think my details on the hat right here, by thinking I could put black there, I think that's probably a mistake. I think it's actually, the whole thing's actually white the more I think about it, but we'll revisit that when we go to actually working on the actual colors and such. Then I got Killer Croc. This is actually Bane. It's kind of hard to see, but Bane is right here, and then we've got Clayface. So, but this is actually Bane. When I did this with the Dick Tracy one, there's a lot of, again, random characters and stuff, so you weren't really, I feel like, hiding a lot of mainstream villain characters, because I did a lot of just generic mobsters and cops and stuff too. There's still characters from the book, but not mainstream characters, and so it didn't seem as whatever when some of the characters were hidden. But so when I was doing this one for the Batman one, I ended up with characters that are hidden that people know that are popular, but I feel like it's better to go with the marquee characters facing out forward. And then I did pick some of my personal favorites. Like I've got Grey Ghost featured because I feel like Grey Ghost to me is a very important character in the Batman animated story. Bane's a great character, but I feel like more from the comics necessarily in my mind. So I feel like it's more important to have characters like, Killer Croc and Ra's and Mr. Freeze and Harley and whatever represent. I do have Superman down here at the bottom, just because the World's Finest two-part episode is kind of cool, and I think Superman and Batman go together. And then right here, close to the fold, actually right here, this is actually Dick Tracy. We've got Dick Tracy right here. Dick Tracy's right here because in the Dick Tracy one, this is where Batman is. So the idea again is that they go together. So the Dick Tracy one has Batman right here, and the Batman one has Dick Tracy right here. So that they kind of weirdly link up in a strange sort of way. And the Dick Tracy sketch cover turned out, I thought, pretty good. I was pretty happy with how it turned out. The gentleman who ended up getting it was quite happy. He's actually the one who asked for the Batman animated one that I'm working on now. He got it at the Phoenix Fan Fusion in Phoenix, Arizona, a couple months ago now. It feels like it was a couple months ago now. So much going on in my life that it feels like it was a couple months ago. And again, I don't know how long to have this live stream go. My original thought is I was just going to have it on while I was working. I don't even know really, honestly, if Facebook is even wanting people to really do a lot of live streaming on it anymore. Might be punishing me in the algorithm as we speak. I don't know. So now we've got Clayface. So we did Bane, move down here to Mr. Freeze. then I probably won't indicate all these little snowflakes that are actually here in this tighter penciled version. I'll probably do those actually when I'm actually coloring it. I kind of mostly put that there just to remind myself I wanted to do the little snowflakes or whatever. The funny thing is, when I was working on this, I kind of wrote things on it. I don't know if people could see in the original drawing. I posted some of those images online, but like I'm gonna have that kind of classic Batman animated red sky back here, so I wrote like red skies at night. And I did the Mr. Freeze. I put detective to the last. Like I wrote little silly things on the pencil stage, thinking about the characters and stuff as I was working on this. Silly things you do. And again, the actual final inked version will look much better and much more clean. Just trying to transfer the drawing down. So have the details be consistent for what I need them to be in order to help guarantee the final piece is good. So now I've got Mr. Freeze. Gonna move over here to Maxie Zeus. After we've drawn the film strip piece. And then I'm not doing a little hatch marks on the film strip because I'll probably do that in the actual final version. Again, right here, this is where that bend is. Score for the fold. This looks hilarious. I don't know if anyone's even watching this. I remember once upon a time Facebook liked for people to go live and post their videos and such and whatever. But I don't know if that's really the case anymore. Should probably have just tried to do this on YouTube, even though I was having issues with it. So now we got Maxie Zeus down, so move on to Catwoman and Two-Face. You know, when they did that later season redesign for Batman the Animated Series, I gotta say the character who, like, I feel like suffered the most from that was Catwoman. I really did not like her later redesign on the show. I feel like it really did her a serious disservice, especially how well designed and treated she was in the early season. And later season, I feel like she was barely present or like an afterthought or something. I don't know. Weird what happened with Catwoman in a later season. Looks like she had a much larger role earlier in the show. And again, I'm just transferring it down. It doesn't have to be perfect at this stage. I'm trying to have hopefully the shapes be right and the details be mostly in place. And then, so Catwoman's pretty much done. This is her cat Isis. Isis is kind of sitting here in this inn, and it's kind of creating some tangents, and I should probably try and move it up, but I'm just going to probably let it ride, which is kind of bad. I kind of put Isis in as an afterthought originally anyway. I just thought it would be kind of cool. The point is to not dwell on Isis, just have Isis represented. So for better or worse, there's Catwoman and Isis. We'll move over to Two-Face next. I hope that Two-Face will look better in the final. The drawing is decent, but there's a lot of little tiny details, so I'm hoping actually doing the colors and stuff will actually help. punch Two-Face up and make it a nicer looking part of this piece. And this little flippy bit here is supposed to be the coin, Two-Face's coin. It's another one that kind of looks better in the final. Alright, so there's Two-Face. We're going to move on to Dick Tracy, who is only part of the Batman mythos in my own mind. Like they have this great crossover adventure that we just never got to read or see. Kind of in the same way that Sherlock Holmes showed up in one of the anniversary stories. Again, for those watching, I'm only using this literal ballpoint pen to assist in transferring the drawing down. This is not what I will be inking the cover itself with. This works better for the transfer part of this process. I'm not gonna worry with that other line. The more I look at it, I don't know if I need that other line anyway. So here's Dick Tracy do this little bit of cave or mountain wall. I guess I'm gonna say it's a mountain, and he's driving back to the Batcave or whatever. So I'm gonna do this wall here and the Batmobile probably next. And the Batmobile is falling right in the score here for the fold of the book, which will make doing the final artwork on this tricky. And actually make the transfer even more difficult. My thinking was the Batwing and the Batmobile on this particular piece are just kind of extras or filler, if you will. In the Dick Tracy one, I had a body with a chalk outline, and then I had a Dick Tracy's badge, and then I had a like a snub nose 38 or whatever for the Dick Tracy one. That didn't work out at all, but maybe we'll be able to finish that and pull that together in the final. Alright, so there's the Batmobile. We got this little cave, little mountain wall or whatever the hell it is. I'm thinking I put red sky with it right here, red sky. So I'm thinking this red sky will be and all these various elements here and hopefully help tie it together. So we red sky all through here and then even through here. That's what I'm thinking really right now. When I start the actual piece, I might change my mind, but that's what I'm thinking at the moment. We're at 1 hour and 22 minutes. Usually a lot of you do like pieces that involve a lot of characters and kind of very complex or at least somewhat complex compositions or whatever. It does take more time to pull pieces like that together. And then at some point here, I should probably stop and actually put out a regular post or something that will actually help promote the book instead of just sitting here doing this, because I don't think this is helping. You kind of put those details a little bit. We'll let it go. So there's Harley Quinn. She's probably the roughest out of all these. But if we lift this up, just so you all can see what we're doing, you can see we're slowly transferring the drawing to the sketch cover. So, just doing what we basically needed to do. This is usually the stage of something like this where I start getting impatient. It's like taking too long. This also is a very, let's say, much more kind of complex composition of just doodling one little character and going on about your day. Man-Bat is sitting right here in the fold, which will also be tricky. So we're doing Superman now. Again, Superman didn't show up until the later versions of the show, but to me, Superman is an important part of Batman's story. At least definitely in a modern context, at least in my mind, he is. Ones down here at the bottom are a little rougher than I'd like them to be, but hopefully they'll look better in the final. And then this character here is kind of cut off. This is Rupert Thorne. We got Superman here. So we're going to do Rupert Thorne with your Man-Bat. At that point, I'll probably go ahead and start working on Batman, and then maybe carry over to the top version and then come back down to the bottom, I guess. And then whether I let this live stream run for that whole process or not, I don't know. Alright, so we got Rupert Thorne. We're going to move on to Man-Bat now. Probably one of the, in my opinion, best episodes of Batman the Animated Series is the Man-Bat episode. For me personally, it was a great episode, a great version of the character, I think, as well. Such a cool episode to do, actually, too, so early in the series as well. Other really great episodes are obviously like the two-parter with Two-Face. Clayface episodes are really great. I quite like the Great Ghost episode, the Phantasm Master Phantasm movie is probably, in my opinion, one of the best Batman films ever made, even comparably against the live action films. I think Massive Phantasm is really, really great. So let's get Man Bat done here. We'll move on. Probably doing Robin next. All right, so Man Bat should be pretty decent to transfer. All right, so we'll do Batman next. And these lines on Batman might be a little rough for these long sweeping art, because the actual ink lines, I might actually use inking tools or templates or something when I actually go to ink these. Again, I'm trying to transfer the drawing down. That's the most important part. Get as many of the main details down. The actual inked artwork on the actual sketch cover itself is what is more important than this. This is just a step in the process. We can see we've got some ink bleeding on the page. That's always great. Again, as far as that's concerned with this, it's not important because this is just transferring the drawing. This is not meant to be the final artwork at all. It's a step in the process. All right, so that's pretty much got Batman. So I'll do Commissioner Gordon next. I'll do the Ninja, and then I'll probably come down here to the bottom, and then hopefully, let's take a quick peek. Hopefully everything's transferring okay. Looks like for the most part we're okay still. It's funny looking at the design work for Commissioner Gordon and then working on putting it onto this. There's something very Popeye about the way they decided to design his chin. I mean, I can't say for certain, but I feel like there was something very weirdly Popeye about Commissioner Gordon's design a little bit. I totally blew that secondary line there. We're not going to worry about it because, again, our main goal right now is to just transfer the drawing. The final inked art on the board will be different. So now we got the Ninja, Commissioner Gordon Ninja. Come here down to the bottom. We're almost done transferring. Getting a little impatient, so I'm just flying through these like film strip edges, which will probably cause me a problem later on. I did on the Dick Tracy, and it did kind of cause me a few issues because I just kind of scribbled them down. They're just meant as a framing sequence. They're not the selling point of the piece. It's all the characters that are more the selling point of the piece, at least in my mind. You gotta be careful how I bump this camera cord because it keeps causing the camera to turn off. At least in the test I did earlier, it did. And you really probably won't be able to see it, but I do have the Batman, the chest logo down here. And again, we do have a lot of ink smearing from this pen, but again, it's just a crappy pen. Sounds like it might be raining outside. Starting to. We got poison ivy and her little Audrey killer plant. Let's do the Joker here. So change the music and put it on something else, but you can only use music you own the rights to, or music that is part of this service I'm using to help me with this live stream. So there's not a lot of great choices. Alright, so we've got Joker, now we're going to do Penguin and Robin, and then we'll be ready for the reveal and see how well we did. Alright, so we've got the Penguin, now we've got Robin, and then we'll be ready for our big reveal. To cloak the doctor who did the Joker's operation in the '89 Batman movie. Let's see how we did. And then my response after that would be, you see what I have to work with here. Almost done. Almost done. Alright, kind of botched that, but there's Robin. Okay, are we ready for the big reveal? So again, the whole point of this entire process was to create this carbon in order to basically transfer the drawing onto the sketch cover. So let us see how we did. Here's our big reveal. For those of you out there in TV land, here's our big reveal. How did we do? there we go. Check that out, everybody. So we have now successfully transferred our drawing here. We made our makeshift carbon, and then we used it to transfer the drawing onto the sketch cover. Got to take our tape off here, hopefully without damaging the cover too much in the process. So we're going to flip this over. Alright, there's that. And it did damage the cover a little bit, but it happens. We are creating a one-of-one work of art here, per se. Sometimes creating art is a little messy, and we'll can tap it. All right, almost done. All right, so again, there's our drawing transferred. It's ready for us to do our ink and our color work. You have a little bit of excise graphite on here, but it will come up really easy after we actually ink the piece. But as you can see, that'll be our front. That'll be our front. And that is going to be the back. So I'm going to go ahead and probably start inking this. I don't know if I'm going to keep this live stream going because I don't even know if anybody even watched, to be honest with you. So I'm probably going to turn the live stream off at this point. I hope all of you enjoyed watching this process of this thing kind of slowly come together here. The next stage will be to ink the drawing. After the drawing is inked, then the next stage is actually to do the color work. So maybe by the time I get to the color stage, I will live stream a little bit more. The inking stage and the color stage actually do take significantly longer. We do have one line here that we missed. I'm going to pencil that in. Do take significantly longer. And I think we did pretty good, all things considered. So, and then again, that moon will probably end up going in there somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where yet. All right, so I hope those of you who enjoyed watching the live stream enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. If you did watch, if you watched it on the I used to call the replay or whatever, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to take a little break here, and I'll probably start working on inking. Anyhow, again, thank you very much. Spot right here did not come across, but most parts pretty decent. But there you go. See a little bit better detail work there. See how it's transferred the drawing over. Right, there you go. Thank you very much for watching, if you did watch. And then maybe we'll see you in the next live stream.